It creates this fabric that's quite textured and thick with this beautiful design. On this video, I'm going to teach you how to do the hexagon stitch. I'm going to be using a 4mm hook and some acrylic yarn size 4. Alright, so for this stitch, you want to start with a foundation chain that's a multiple of 8 plus 5. In my case, I have 29 chains. For row 1, we're going to start by doing 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So you skip that first one, and into the second, do a single crochet. And now you want to do 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 chains. So here's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to, by the way, this counts as a picot stitch. It doesn't mean anything right now, but later you'll understand. This is our first picot stitch. Continuing the repeat, we're going to skip 3 chains, and then into the next one, do 3 double crochets, all into the same chain. So you skip 3, and then do 3 double crochets into that same chain. Here's my second, and here is my third. Continuing the repeat, we're going to skip 3 chains and then into the next one doing a single crochet. And now we're going to start the row repeat. The repeat starts by skipping 3 chains, and then into the next chain you're going to work the following. We're going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3. Now you want to work a picot stitch. So for a picot stitch, you want to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we want to do a single crochet into the second chain from the hook. So you skip the first one and into the next, a single crochet. And then you're going to have 3 chains left, into which you want to do 1 single crochet per chain. So it's 3 single crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. And this is what the picot stitch looks like. And now we're going to do 3 double crochets into the same chain that you're currently in. So into the same chain there, 3 double crochets. That's 1, 2, and 3. And this is what that looks like. Now it's very important to know that when you work these many stitches into one chain, the next chain gets kind of hidden, like it gets pulled. So because we're going to be skipping 3 chains coming up, you want to make sure that you don't forget about that one. So it's there. So after this repetition, you want to skip 3 chains and do 1 single crochet into the next. So we skip 1, 2, 3, and into the next, a single crochet. And that there ends the repeat. So let's go back to the beginning of it. The repeat starts by skipping 3 chains and then into the next doing the repetition of 3 double crochets. Here's 1, 2, and 3. Then a chain 5. Then you want to do 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook. And then 1 into each of the last 3. So 1, 2, and 3. And now we want to do the 3 double crochets into the same chain. And just to kind of mention that again, you see how currently I have 4 chains. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's the amount of chains you want to be left with. Once I do the 3 double crochets into this chain, this next one's going to disappear. So that's just something really important to remember, because otherwise your count's going to be off, but that's because it could be easy to miss that one. So I'm going to do my 3 double crochets into the same chain. Here's 2 and 3. And now to finish the repetition, I got to skip 3 chains and do 1 single crochet into the next. So you see how that next one's kind of hard to see because it's hiding in there, but I'm going to skip that and then 2 more. And into my very last chain, do my very last single crochet. If you have more chains to go, you just want to make sure to go back to the beginning of the repeat and then continue on for however many chains you have left. Now we can move on to row 2. For row 2, we're going to start with a chain 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and that counts as a treble crochet. Now we can flip our work. We're going to be working what's called a cluster. And it's going to be a little heavy, just really tight, but bear with me here. For a cluster stitch, you're going to yarn over and you're going to work this first cluster stitch over the first 8 stitches. So yarn over, insert your hook into the first single crochet, into the first stitch, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. And you want to make sure this loop is nice and loose because you're going to be doing a lot of these. So that was my first one. I want to do this a total of 8 times. Yarn over into the next stitch, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. That's 2. Yarn over into the next stitch, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. 3. Yarn over into the next stitch, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. That's 4. Now we're going to be going into the single crochets of the picot stitch, which we have 4 of. So that's going to complete our 8 for the cluster. Yarn over, insert your hook into the first single crochet of the picot, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over, do the same into each one of these single crochets. That's 2. That's 3. And that is 4. So you see you have all these loops and it is tight. So the taller you do these loops, the easier it's going to be to pull through. So once you have all of these, you're going to yarn over and pull through all of the loops. Just being careful not to get stuck anywhere. And that essentially is our cluster stitch. Moving on, you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And now you're going to do a single crochet on top of the picot stitch. So this is where I kind of want to show you also what's happening. We've worked on this side of the single crochet. This is the back side of the single crochet. And we're going to be working on there as well. But for now, we just want to do a single crochet onto the top of the picot stitch. So you just want to make sure that you have your 4 single crochets, 1, 2, 3, 4. And into the top of the picot, we're going to work that single crochet. Now we are going to, let me see here, start the row repeat. You're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to work a cluster stitch and it's going to be over the next 15 stitches. This one we worked it over 8. Now you want to do 15 stitches. And I'm just going to tell you the number. So you're going to work into the back of the single crochet of the picot. That's 4. Then 3 double crochets. That is 7. Then the single crochet. That's 8. Then the 3 double crochet is 9, 10, 11. And then the 4 single crochets of the picot is 15. So basically you're going to be kind of creating this circle here, all along here until the top of the picot. So it's going to get tight. I got to really focus. I was trying to explain it earlier and I couldn't film it. So I'm just going to focus on what I'm doing here. We're going to yarn over, go into the back of this first single crochet, and then pull up a loop. Remember, this loop needs to be loose so you can pull it through afterwards. Yarn over, go into the next one. This is my second, third, fourth. Now I'm on to the double crochets. 5, 6, 7. Now I'm on to the single crochet. 8. Now on to the double crochets. 9, 10, and 11. Obviously it's getting tighter for me, so I just got to push things back a little bit. And I'm going to do my last 4 into the single crochets of the next picot. This is 2. This is technically my 14th one and my 15th one. There we go. So I've got 15 on the hook. I'm going to yarn over and pull through all the loops here. Just being careful that I don't get caught in anything. This is going to take some wiggling around. Okay, sorry. Let's cut back to this. Sorry, I had to have this really close to my face so I could actually pull it through. So I couldn't show you on camera. This is a weird angle to crochet from because in person I'm crocheting like this, but I'm doing this to show you on camera. So once you've pulled that through all the loops, you're going to see this kind of like half circle. And so let's continue the repeat here. We're going to do a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you want 1 single crochet in the top, at the top of the picot stitch. So the very top of the picot stitch, a single crochet, which there ends the repeat. So let's do it again together. The repeat starts at a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And then a cluster stitch, which will bring us to, of the current picot all the way to the top of the next picot. So yarn over, go to the back of the 4th single crochet. Pull up a loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Find that this is the trickiest part. The top of the picot. This will be my 12th, 13, 14, and 15th. Okay. And now this is the thing that I'm telling you. I'm going to try and pull it, but I got to make it like this so I don't get stuck. Yarn over and then pull through all the loops. Yeah. There we go. Okay. And so that is the cluster stitch. Now to finish this off, we're going to do a chain 3. And now to finish off the repeat, you want to do a single crochet into the top of the picot stitch. This for me is the end of row 2. If you have more stitches to go through, just follow that repetition. The repeat starts at a chain 3, then 1 cluster over the next 15 stitches, then a chain 3, and then a single crochet on top of the picot. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and flip our work. We're going to do 1 single crochet into the first stitch. So into that first single crochet, a single crochet. Now we're going to skip, start the row repeat. You're going to skip the chain 3 from the previous row, which is this one here, and into the hole that the cluster stitch created, which is this one here. Into there, you're going to work 3 double crochets. So that's 1, 2, and 3. Then a picot stitch, which is 5 chains. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook. And then 1 single crochet into each of the 3 chains you have left. Here's 2, 3, and 4. And that's our picot stitch. Now we're going to finish off by doing 3 more double crochets into that same hole, into the same space there. 3 double crochets. And that's 1, 2, and this is the third one here, 3. Okay, and as you can see, you've completed kind of like the whole circle. Looks really pretty. And we can continue the repeat. We're going to skip the next chain 3, which is this one here, chain 3. And then on top of the single crochet, you're going to work a single crochet. And that ends the repeat. I'll do it again with you. The repeat starts by skipping the next chain 3. Sorry, I think I made the single crochet at the chain 3. Let me go back here. And so, yeah, the single crochet is right over here. I got to go on top of that single crochet with a single crochet. Starting the repeat again, we got to skip this chain 3 and into the hole that the cluster created in the previous row. Into there, you're going to work 3 double crochets. 1, 2, 3. Then a chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to do 1 single crochet into the second chain from the hook. and then 1 single crochet into each of the chains you have left. So here is 1, 2, and 3. Now into that same hole, you want to do 3 more double crochets. There's 1, 2, and 3. And now to complete the repeat, we're going to skip the next chain 3 space and into the next single crochet, do a single crochet. Okay. And let's see here at the end of the row, we're going to be working, basically skipping the last chain 3 space and into the hole that you would do this whole repetition. Into there, we're just going to work 4 double crochets. So you're going to yarn over and then skip that chain 3 and go into the last hole from the cluster of the previous row and do 4 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And there we have it. This here is the end of row 3. For row 4, we're going to start with a chain 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And this counts as a treble crochet and a chain 3. So now for this row, we're going to start into the 5th chain from the hook, and you want to work 1 cluster stitch over the next 15 stitches and chains. It'll be a bit of a mix. So into the 5th chain from the hook, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Into there, yarn over, insert your hook, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. Yarn over, go into the next chain, insert your hook, grab the yarn and pull up a loop. That's 2. And then into the last chain, that's 3. Now we can actually flip the work, and we're going to be working into the next, let's see, what's 15 minus 3? That's 12, into the next 12 stitches, which should bring us to the top of the picot stitch. So let's see. 4 is a double crochet, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 11 is the last double crochet before the picot. And now I'm going to do the last 4 onto the single crochets of the picot. That's 2, 3, 4, let's see here. Yeah, just 1 more for the last single crochet here. I have to grab my hook a little bit different for that bit there to have enough space, and I'm kind of pulling with my left hand so I can give some space into those loops. Yarn over, and I'm going to twist it so that I don't have issues. And there we go. And that is a cluster over 15 stitches. So now we're going to chain 3. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3. And now you want to do 1 single crochet on top of the picot stitch. So on top of the picot stitch, a single crochet. And that's the cluster there. This one I find kind of tricky, but I feel like the look is so beautiful afterwards. So once you do that, it takes a minute to get used to the feeling. But okay, continuing the repeat, we are going to, sorry, that single crochet there ends the repeat. So you can go back to the beginning of it by chaining 3. 1, 2, 3. And then you want to do 1 cluster into the next 15 stitches. So basically we're going to go in the back of the picot stitch, the double crochet, single crochet, double crochet, and picot. So you're going to do the same after the chain 3. We're going to yarn over, go into the back of the first single crochet of the picot, pull up a loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now I go into the double crochets. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Again, at the very end here, I gotta be really careful. And I'm gonna yarn over and pull through all the loops here. Okay. It is normal to get caught a little bit, but you can help yourself by like pushing the stitches. There we are. And now we're going to chain 3 to finish the repeat. That's 1, 2, 3. And then do a single crochet on top of the picot. And that there ends the row repeat. So if you have more stitches to go ahead and do that. At the very end here, we're going to chain, let me see, end and last wrap. Okay, yeah, so at the very end, we're actually just going to do the cluster into the last 8 stitches. So we're going to start with a chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to just do the last 8 stitches. So we're going to yarn over, go into the 4th of the single crochets of the picot, pull up a loop. This is the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Now we've got the double crochets. 5, 6, 7. And to finish off, you have the single crochet of the previous row. That's 8 stitches there. And then you want to pull through all the loops there. And there we have it. This basically ends the row. You're not going to chain or anything. You're going to start the next row. So row 5, we're going to start it with a chain 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. You flip your work. This is the last row, by the way. We're going to do 1 single crochet into the 2nd chain from the hook. And now you want to do 1 single crochet into each of the next 3 chains. So here is 1, 2, and 3. And what we have here counts as a picot stitch and a double crochet. This chain 3 counts as a double crochet. So now we're going to do 3 double crochets into the first stitch. So into the very first top of the cluster, into there you want 3 double crochets. So here is 1, 2, and 3. Continuing the repeat, we're going to skip 3 chains and do 1 single crochet into the next single crochet. So you skip the chain 3, find the single crochet, and into there do a single crochet. Now we're going to start the row repeat. The repeat starts at skipping the next 3 chains and into the loop that closed the last cluster stitch. Into there we're going to work the repetition of 3 double crochets. Then you want a picot stitch, which is chain 5. Then you want to do a single crochet into the 2nd chain from the hook. And then a single crochet into the next 3 chains. And now into the same hole from the cluster stitch, another 3 double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Into the same hole there. And now we're going to continue the repeat. You're going to skip the next 3 chains and do 1 single crochet on top of the next single crochet. And there we have it. That ends the row repeat. If you have many more stitches to go, you go back to the beginning of the repeat. I'll verbalize it for you. You skip 3 chains, then into the loop that closed the cluster stitch of the previous row. You work the combination of 3 double crochets, picot, 3 double crochets. Then you skip the chain 3 and do 1 single crochet into the next single crochet. So now at the end here, we're going to, let me see, do the same like this repetition here into the whole of the previous cluster stitch. So we're going to do 3 double crochets. Then a picot, single crochet into the second chain and every chain back. Then into that same hole of the cluster stitch of the previous row, 3 double crochets. So there's 1, 2, and 3. And now we're going to do the final single crochet of the row. You're going to do this one into the 4th chain of the turning chain. So here we have a turning chain. It's a little twisted for me. Let me untwist it. So into the 4th chain of this turning chain, I want to do my single crochet. So I'm going to count, let's see, 1, 2, 3, and 4. To the 4th chain there, insert my hook, grab the yarn, and do a single crochet. And that there ends row 5. Basically, from now on, you just want to repeat rows 2 through 5 until you have the desired length of your work or a finished swatch. Here we have it. How cool is this one? This kind of reminds me of shells, or there's this like sea plant, or I don't know what it is, but it's under the sea and it kind of opens up and closes. So that's the thing it reminds me of. Real stunning. Creates these like circles and then the little holes in the middle. Hey, while you're at it, why don't you just subscribe to my channel? Just do it. Just do it.